9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening and welcome to Satellites Live once again. Hey, good evening and welcome to another edition of Satellites Live, the online youth ministry of St Mary's Reigate. I'm Martin Saunders. I am, of course, the youth worker at St Mary's. You all know that. I don't know why I keep saying it, but I'm going to introduce us all anyway, because we've been doing this for 17 weeks. We're going to keep going. So also with me, as always, Mr. Charles Merritt, the children's worker at St Mary's, and so much more than an intern, Ms. Katie Madnat. Miss?
Hi.
It's definitely not Miss.
I'm happy to go with Miss.
Miss Katie Madnat.
Last time I checked.
So welcome, guys. Welcome to you at home. This week, there are going to be no technical issues. We have reinforced all our bufferings or something like that. So everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. And so we're going to have a good week. Have you guys all had a good week? How's your week been so far? Give us a highlight, Charles Merritt.
Yeah, sorry, that was wonderful. Yeah, my highlight was today. It was about like 6 hours ago, I guess, when I went for my first drive since lockdown. I was finally able to drive my car again.
Where did you go?
Martin, for my first drive, I thought I'd go somewhere really, beautiful, lovely, gorgeous. It was a business estate in Crawley. So
wow.
It was really lovely, yeah.
You went to a business park in Crawley?
Well, no, I had to drop off my dad to pick up his car. His car was in the services, and I had to drive him.
Wow.
To that.
Wait,
yeah.
Was it the Nissan garage?
It wasn't Nissan, no, because that's dead now.
Oh.
Well,
can people hear Ollie?
Yes, they can. Sorry, I had to jump in
Just
because
to check.
I went there yesterday and I got very excited. Sorry.
Oh, maybe it is. Oh, maybe I think maybe they've moved in this. Sorry, guys.
Go ahead.
I feel like lockdown has stopped
leave.
us all from remembering what constitutes an interesting story.
Yeah, sorry.
Wait. I
I'm
do
gonna
have
leave.
a interesting story because it was my first drive, and someone nearly crashed into me, and then I got chased by a police car.
What?
They're two separate
Wow.
stories, by the way. I wasn't getting chased by a police car. It was just coming past me. But when you have that anxiety that like the police car is coming for you for some unknown reason, like you haven't done anything wrong, but you're like, what if it is? What if they're coming for me? It's terrifying.
So just to clarify, when you say I got chased by a police car, you mean there was a police car nearby?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Katie, can you better that epic story?
Well, do you know, I was thinking about this now. Actually, the highlight of my week happened today. So I went into town, and as I was walking back home, I bumped into two of our year nines who I haven't seen in a really long time, and the gorgeous Wendy. And we'd all kind of just been walking in the same vague direction and had all bumped into each other. And it was very lovely. And it reminded me how much I actually just miss seeing people not through a screen. There are some people, obviously, that we've seen since restrictions have been lifted, but you guys, obviously, we have not seen yet. So it was a treat. It was very nice.
Wow, that's like the closest we've had to meeting as a physical group for like 4 months.
Yeah. That was small groups, like 3 minutes crossing a road.
Amazing. Well, look, let me give you the highlight of my week. And the highlight of my week hasn't happened yet, but I'll give you a clue, because if you look at this ridiculous mop on the top of my head, you will see that something needs to be done. I look a little bit like, do you know in Mario, there's that guy called Toad? You know him with the mushroom head? That's how I feel at the moment. And thank you to the magic of Mr. Craig Dexter, other local barbers obviously available. I will be having my head of hair shorn tomorrow. I'm very excited. I'm really, I almost can't sleep. Well, I mean, I don't think I'll be able to sleep.
Thrilling.
Oh, tomorrow.
We've really gone for it with those stories. You had someone having a haircut, someone driving to an industrial estate, and 4 people meeting in a street. I mean, really, like over the last few months, we've really developed our storytelling skills, and also the exciting things that have been happening to us, just been escalating all the time.
Truly.
Shall we do the notices? Oh, it's me. I'm first. Sorry, that never happens. I'm sorry. I'm now really obsessing about whether I actually do look like Toad. What does Toad sound like? Does anyone have a voice?
It's actually, I don't know. I have not played Mario Kart in so long.
Charles, I feel like you would have a Toad impression.
I mean, I guess if I was to do a Toad impression, it'd be like, like something like that. It'd be like, yeah, something like that.
That's good. I mean, given that we don't know what he sounds like, you can, by the way, all evening post into the YouTube chat and give us your feedback on how you think this is going. And if you have any, I don't know how you would do it on the YouTube chat, but if you have any idea of giving us some stage directions or guidance for how to do Toad from Mario Kart's voice, we'd love that. I think we'll get Charles to just keep having a go at it.
Yeah.
Right, notices. First of all, first notice. You know this by now, but everybody needs to have Kahoot in order to be able to take part effectively in this evening's proceedings. So you need to go to kahoot.it in order to play online, or download the app for Amazon, for Android or Apple or whatever phone you're using. Also, we have WhatsApp groups. If you're in year 7 and 8, there's a WhatsApp group for you. If you're in years 9 to 13, there's a WhatsApp group for you. And then we've got a sort of all together WhatsApp group, which is we do occasional kind of thoughts for the day on there. If you want to be on any of those, what needs to happen is your parents need to drop me a line with your mobile number, and that is then giving us permission to contact you through WhatsApp. Also, you can follow us on Instagram. There's no point, we don't do anything on there, but you can follow us on Instagram, and you can do that by scanning this little thingy that's on the screen right now. In fact, it's here. Is it there? It's there. Sometimes I think this whole thing's beneath me. Right, that's enough for me. That's enough from me. Katie.
Yes. So this evening, as with all of our Satellites Lives, we are answering your faith questions. And please feel free to submit more. So there's a little bit of an announcement coming up later about the future of Satellites Live, but you can still submit your faith questions and we would love to have them. So as you guys know, there is a link in the description of our WhatsApp chats where you can submit them, and it's anonymous and no one knows. We also are really, really recommending the Soul Survivor podcast to you guys. It's called Take Heart with Mike and Andy. Those are the leaders of the Soul Survivor Church in Watford that obviously the conference was born out of. And it's just fantastic. Like, we are not just recommending this out of nowhere because, you know, we love Soul Survivor, but actually because we do listen to these and they are helping us grow, and we believe that they'll be helping you grow as well. And finally, we have got St Mary's services on the St Mary's YouTube channel every Sunday morning at 10:30, and it's really lovely to just get a sense of everyone coming together again. And there's lots of announcements coming out of the church as well at this time, so it would be great for you guys to be able to keep up with them. Charles.
Yeah, so the younger version of Satellites Live, I guess, which is Satellites 56, I've been doing all lockdown, and we have also been doing Mark's Gospel, and we are nearing the end. So next week will be the last Satellites 56, and we'll be looking at Jesus's death and crucifixion. Look how I do that on my own, acting that out. That's going to be interesting. And then talking about things coming to an end, next week will be our last Satellites Live of the series. I think we're going to call it a series. We're not quite sure. But effectively, we're going to be breaking over the summer. And depending how things go, we might be back with Satellites Live in September. We might be doing something else in September. Who knows what's going to happen? But we just want you to know that next week will be the last Satellites Live for at least 6 weeks, I guess. Is that right, Martin?
At least. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you. Tune in next week, please. It'd be nice to see you still. Don't not tune in next week going, oh, it's the last week next week, so might as well not bother. Please do. There's stuff coming up. And
should we do a big finale? We haven't really planned this, but should we do
what, like a massive song and dance number?
Well, I think what we should ask people obviously watching on YouTube now could comment on this. What should we do as our season finale? We're not going to kill off a character, just so you know. But what should we do?
Get close
with
to
our
home,
end of
Martin.
season finale?
Oh,
Sorry, Charles.
yeah,
you carry on.
Ollie's trying not to panic in the background.
And finally, on our final notice, is small groups are on this evening. We will be doing small groups, so you should have received the code for that. It's the same link as always, but just yes, please join in for that. Right, without further ado, bang on time at 7:10, let's do our quiz. So we have got a Kahoot quiz for you now. The code, Ollie is going to shout it out for you now.
The code is 6354495. How exciting. I'm not going to repeat it this time, but
Great.
that is the code.
It's very exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
We've got Mini Begsy
Mini Bexy is like always one of the first people on there.
on it.
Yeah, they
He's
are.
just on it.
Yeah, they're ready with their phone, the app, just straight.
I don't know whether Mini Bexy has ever won, but I'm great.
I think we've seen leaderboard appearances quite a few
Okay.
times,
Yeah.
actually. So,
I just feel like giving him a shout out just for that is
Yeah.
worth it.
Yes,
Pete
mate, we
Park
see
is
you.
here.
Oh, Kahoot is here. That is
It's back.
so.
Kahoot
Yeah.
back.
Did we ever establish whether Kahoot was an individual who just couldn't think of a name and called themselves Kahoot?
I believe so.
It was that.
It's
Okay.
not the actual company Kahoot joining in on
I-
Kahoot.
I don't know, guys. I feel like we might have the CEO of Kahoot joining us.
You reckon that would be
Just
quite
keeping
cool.
tabs.
Yeah,
Do you think the
exactly.
CEO of Kahoot is called like Dave Kahoot?
Oh yeah.
And that's why.
Yeah. Oh, that would be cool. That's such a strange name though, Kahoot. What if their
Yeah.
first
No,
name was Kahoot?
What if their first name was Car and their second name was Hoot?
Yeah, I think we're in
Wow.
interesting, again, fascinating territory here, guys.
Yeah, let's bring it back.
How are
Someone-
we looking?
someone
How many
has
people
entered
got
as-
signed in?
Someone has entered as soursweets.com, which I think is a very creative.
Oh, nice.
Great name.
I like
That
that.
is.
No free promotion here.
Have we got any West Ham references this week?
No,
Um,
but can we should talk about that.
Yes.
Last
we,
week
we
after
won last week.
after the live stream, we were doing our debrief as always. Martin had the TV on, not really listening to what was going on.
I was listening as well.
And he was like, I was like, oh, I hope they win. And Martin was like, oh, they won't win. They won't win. I was like, you need to believe that they will win. And what
Mm.
happened, Martin?
Yeah, no, thanks to you. Thanks to your positive thinking. West Ham beat Chelsea, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Right, I
And-
think we're ready. Oh, sorry.
Apologies, all Chelsea fans for that.
Oh yeah.
Great. Let's go. Let's go for it.
Let's go. Lively Dolphin 97 has joined, so I think that's our cue. You know.
Cool. So these questions are all about kings and queens, but not quite. Don't worry if you're not into history. So the first question is, when was Elizabeth II crowned Queen of England? Okay, the first one is about an actual queen. When was she crowned Queen of England? Was it the 2nd of June 1953, the 3rd of June 1952, the 6th of February 1952, or the 5th of February 1953? Now we're looking for when she was crowned,
Wow.
not how long she's been reigning. Just gonna put that one out there.
Well, they've got 1 second. 13.
Ooh.
13 people got the correct answer, Charles.
Well done. Yeah, she was actually, she's been reigning since the 6th of February even of 1952, but she was crowned on the 2nd of June
All right.
1953.
Sorry, I thought you said
Well
the
done.
wrong
Well
answer.
done. Well, let's see who's on our leaderboard this
Have
week.
a look. Oh, haircut happy.
Heck, I'm happy.
Is in the house. I wonder if that is a Dexter family member. I don't know. And then we have
Maybe.
Aussie Tim in second. Frazzles is in fifth. Frazzles, a great crisp, is in fifth. So
Correct.
as we head on to our next
Wonderful.
question.
Next question. Okay. Where did Martin Luther King Jr. deliver his infamous "I Have a Dream" speech? See what I mean? It's not all about kings and queens.
Got you.
Was it outside the White House, on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, beneath the Washington,
Memorial.
or in the United States Capitol. That's the building, the domed one.
Oh, what, the Capitol building?
Yes. Not in the Capitol.
Not in the Capitol.
Yeah.
That was very vague if it was. Well, time is up, and 16 people thought it was beneath the Washington Monument. But, Charles...
Yeah. It was at the other end. It was on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was Abraham Lincoln who, made the first steps to abolish slavery as a president. So
Oh, wow.
seems
Look at that.
fitting.
Yeah. Do
It's
people
not
like
just
go in the
an
water? Do you know?
What?
Well, I know there's like
No.
a pondy lake thing. I feel
That's in Forrest Gump.
like...
You're confusing your famous speeches.
It is
Okay.
near there, though. To be fair to Ollie, it is near there. The people probably would have been standing in the water or around the water.
Yeah, okay, cool. Well, I was just wondering, Oh, Haircut Happy is still in the lead, but then
Wow.
followed by I Want WhatsApp, and then Frazzles has moved up. So...
It doesn't take much to unleash you lot on a campaign, does it? My goodness, we take you off WhatsApp for 15 minutes and there's a campaign to reinstate it.
Yes. And, and then Expected Item is in 4th. I feel like if WhatsApp wins, do we have to reinstate them? Or...
No.
Right, next question.
Do we think Haircut Happy is the Dexter family? Is that what
Oh,
we...
no, I found
Gail
out it's
has
not.
said it's
Yeah,
not.
it's not.
Okay.
So...
Cool. Who stole the Queen of Hearts jam tarts in the poem? Who stole the Queen of Hearts jam tarts? Was it the king, the knave, the maid, or the cook?
Poem? I've never heard this poem.
The Queen of Tarts, she made some tarts, right? That's how it starts.
Don't say the...
I can't remember the rest of it, so it
Okay,
doesn't really matter.
okay, good.
I couldn't even get through the first line, let alone the whole poem.
Wow.
Well,
We're about to find out.
Wow, 28 people got the correct answer. That was a big
It
majority
was
this time.
the knave of hearts, yeah.
The knave. I don't even know what that means. So.
That's like the jack of hearts, basically.
Oh, right, okay, there. Well, you learn something every day. Ooh, Haircut Happy. I can't
You
read
can't do it.
Yeah, it just, is still in first, but soursweets.com, no free promotion here, has moved into 4th. So
We should just say that we're not sponsored by
anyone.
soursweets.com
Yeah.
no.
or by any specific hairdresser in the Reigate area. Although
Yes.
we would be open to the conversation, I think.
Yes.
Given my
Sponsor
impending
the second
appointment.
series. Yeah, yeah, that's true.
I would also be very happy to be sponsored by Frazzles as well. So just
Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes. Yeah.
Sounds
If
sweet.
you were
Hit me
sponsored
up.
by anyone, Charles, I imagine that you would be
Frazzles
sponsored
is
by
our lead.
Frazzles.
Frazzles.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Which of these celebrities wasn't crowned Jungle King in ITV's I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here? I put up pictures to help you. Phil Tufnell, Gino D'Acampo, Harry Redknapp, or Mark Wright? Take a guess.
If my grandmother
I think
had
I know that
wheels,
one.
she would have been a bike.
I think that's the first one I've known for about 3 weeks.
You know it.
Yeah, I know that one.
Oh,
I literally would not have a clue. I do not know
it was
who any of these
fairly-
people are.
Well, it was fairly even across the board, Katie, but 13 people got the correct answer, Charles, which was...
Yeah. Was Mark Wright. He came second.
Wow.
He lost to Dougie Pointer from McFly. So, there you go.
Very exciting.
So let's see what that's done. That looked like that could have been the leveler.
Well, not really, because Haircut Happy is in the lead. I can't read. I cannot
You've got
read.
3 more chances to get it right.
I have. And Frazzles has now moved into second place, so that's very exciting.
Congrats.
But one thing I do want to point out is our 3-time champion Unexpected Item is the highest climber of that round. So
It's all up for grabs.
we could be seeing an appearance later on.
Okay, this question is how many Piston Cups has Lightning McQueen won by the time of Cars 2? Not
Oh.
Cars 3. We're looking for Cars 2 here. How many Piston Cups has Lightning McQueen won by the time of Cars 2? Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? Lightning Queen.
One of
What
the
a
greatest movies
phenomenal-
ever made, remember?
Yes,
Cars
So
2.
good.
indeed.
According
It's
to
a
Ollie.
phenomenal movie, Cars 2. So,
How
and
many has
one.
he won?
Yeah, how many?
He's at least won one.
Oh, well, 18 people thought it was 3, but in fact, it was
4.
4.
And by the time it's Cars 3, he's won 7. There's a fun fact.
Wow.
Wow. That's a big jump.
It is. Big
It's a
jump.
big jump.
Right. Let's see. Haircut Happy is
Well
still
done.
in the lead, thank you. But we've had a big leaderboard change in the lower half. We've got Poppy in 3rd, Kahoot has moved into 4th, and Miriam is in 5th. So that is very exciting.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
exciting.
that's very
Cool.
exciting. So let's move on to our next question.
This is a king question. Okay, who is this king's daughter? Now, this is from a Disney film.
Oh.
Me. Who is this king's daughter? It's going to reveal slowly, so hopefully you get it by the eyebrows.
I don't know about you. I was worried that we didn't have enough Disney in this quiz, but he
Yeah.
saved the day.
He
Thank
did.
goodness in the last couple of questions.
It's phenomenal. I love it. Oh wait, Charles, was that Cars question?
That was for you, Ollie.
that
Yeah,
was that my special question?
that was your
Thank
special
you.
question. Yeah.
Charles told me I had a special. Oh, I will be quiet because so many people have got this
Wow.
right. 31 people have got the correct answer, Charles.
Well done. Look, maybe that's the only question you get right today, and well done. And for 7 people who didn't get it right, I'm sorry if that's not the question you get right.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's still
let's
questions
see.
to come though.
Yeah, there is still time to climb.
Oh, Poppy is chomping. No, is barking away. What's it? Well, biting away at the heels.
Do we think it's the dog Poppy or the young person Poppy?
Well, I
It could
assume
be
the
a
young
young
person.
person.
No, I know, but there's that expression, you know.
Oh,
where,
right.
Where they like bite
Yeah.
at the heels.
Because
I
if
don't
it's
know.
Poppy the girl, then we're really sorry that Ollie just suggested Bark.
No, I just. Well, you know. Well, anyway, Poppy has moved into 2nd, very closely. In contest. I don't know what I'm saying.
Gnashing at the heels.
Yeah,
Someone
that's the one. Thank you, gnashing at the heels. Yeah. Anyway, next question.
Right. Next question.
Yeah. I retire as this.
Great. Which Queen song mentions Peter Pan and Superman in the lyrics? Whew.
Ooh.
Is it Who Wants to Live Forever, Don't Stop Me Now, Bicycle Race, or We Are the Champions? It's a great question. Thank you.
Oh yes.
Wonder how many people are just going through the lyrics in their minds
Yeah,
really
exactly.
quickly.
That's a really good question, Charles.
Thank you.
Oh. 19 people thought it was Don't Stop Me Now, and ironically 7 people thought that they were the champions.
And,
But 5 people got the correct answer, Charles, which was
bicycle, bicycle, I wanna ride. Yeah,
Wait,
bicycle
don't
race.
sing too much because we might get copyright strikes. Because...
Not sure without singing, you will. Well, let's see who's on the podium then.
yeah.
That could have
Well,
been
this
a
is it.
Oh, it's the
big
podium.
reveal.
It's the podium. Okay.
Who
In
knows?
3rd place, Frazzles. Well done. Not sponsored. Well done. Brilliant. In 2nd place, Poppy.
Well
I
done,
think
Poppy.
1st place is going to be... It's Haircut Happy.
Yeah.
Well done.
Congratulations.
That
I
is
mean-
terrific.
Worthy winner.
They
after all that.
they thought how many did they get out of 7, Ollie? well-
They got 5 out of 7, and so did all 3 on the top, on the podium.
that-
Wow.
Okay, I feel like I redeemed myself from the quiz last week where like people got 1 out of 7.
Yeah, I feel like the winner last week got like 2 out of 7. So, yes, but well done to everyone who
Redemption.
participated.
Done,
and
Haircut Happy.
Haircut Happy was our victor.
Wow. Well, talking of victors, I'm going to hand over to Katie because I have no idea what's about to happen.
Great. What a
And
transition.
Neither does Katie. Kind of.
What a segue. Okay. You guys, it is round 2 of Martin versus Charles. As things stand, Martin is currently in the lead with 1 point from last week. We are hoping, sorry, Martin, that Charles will win this week because it means that then next week will be the decider.
Okay.
But if you win again this week, Martin, next week might just have to be worth 3 points.
Yes.
Well, next week I can just go for the absolute clean sweep, surely.
No.
All
Yeah,
up
true.
for grabs. Okay. are you ready to hear what your challenge will be? You will all be happy to know that we're not introducing extra cameras this week, and so hopefully we'll be free of technical glitches.
We will be up and running and visible.
Amazing. So, Martin and Charles, you both have some materials that have been delivered to your homes today. Would you like to just hold them up for us?
Oh, it's a Morrison's bag, not sponsored.
I don't have any idea what's in here.
No, no,
Oh,
but-
you not looked?
You
No, of
may
course not. I
open-
was told not to.
Fantastic. Okay, that's good to know. Now we came up with this idea. This idea was actually inspired by Pinterest, by Pinterest children's activities. And I'll say no more because Ollie has kind of ironed out the finer details of how this
Yes,
challenge is going to
without
work.
telling Katie. So, we are going to cut to the title screen that will explain everything that they are doing.
Wonderful.
Wow.
Welcome back. So, Martin and Charles have unboxed or taken their items out of the bag. Would you like to show us what you have, what your materials are?
Got some,
Oh,
I can't even get the bag open.
got some marshmallows and some cocktail sticks.
oh, what
Fantastic,
could you
yes, there
possibly
are.
be doing, Katie?
You guys' challenge is to build certain structures out of these cocktail sticks and mini marshmallows. So once you can get the bags open, we will count you down and you will have a certain amount of time to build certain things. Now, Ollie and I will judge your structures based off of A, their structural integrity, because you cannot lean it up against something.
Yeah.
B, how much they resemble what you're actually meant to be building. And C, just generally which one we like more.
Yeah. And please feel free to let us know in the comments please pitch in. who you think's doing a better or worse job, and whose looks more realistic or not.
Yes. So guys, as you're setting up your areas, we won't, no offense, actually need to see your faces necessarily. So if it's more helpful that we can just see your table or surface, whatever you're going to be using, then obviously we want to be focusing on watching the construction process.
You could do it on your chair, Martin, if that helps.
Yeah.
I'm glad we
wouldn't be able to eat it afterwards.
It's a surprise, that's why. You're not going to eat the cocktail.
Yeah, Charles, your parents have in fact commented in the YouTube chat, just eat them.
Yeah,
It's quite tempting.
you could all be winners by just getting to eat marshmallows.
To be fair,
So
yeah, I do feel like I've already won. As long as they're nicer than the ones that I ate in the Frozen video.
yes, oh yeah.
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 There you go. Someone has asked, why does Charles get a better supermarket? These were in fact bought at the same supermarket.
They
They've just
were.
been put in different bags.
Yes, so I've been all over the shop because everything we've bought from the co-op is in a Morrison's bag or an M&S bag. So
We're just not showing any favoritism here.
Yeah. Yes. So the first item that I would like you guys to build, and I think we'll give them 30 seconds.
Would you like me to set a timer, Ollie?
Oh, that would be tremendous. Is a dog. Go. Build a dog out of marshmallow sticks. No, cocktail sticks and marshmallows. So I'm interested to see
Okay,
what.
here it is. Oh, you can see the reflection of my screen. That's not very good.
And I wonder if they're going to be going for any specific breeds, Katie, because
I do wonder as well. Also, Ollie, having just reflected
Yes,
on this,
I
I don't think
agree.
30 seconds is going to be anywhere near enough.
nowhere near. When
I'm
you
so
held
glad
it
you
up,
said
when you
that.
held it
So
up, they
we're
already-
gonna go for 2.5 minutes
Wow.
starting from now.
Okay, I feel like that's going to be
Oh.
too much, but we'll see. How about I don't know.
Would either of you like to talk us through what's happening?
What's your thought?
What's happening is I am panicking like mad, and what once was standing is not standing anymore.
I was thinking
Yes.
we only had 30 seconds when I started this, so
I'm not sure I really went for structural integrity. Perhaps I should have done. I'm not sure this is going to be self-supporting.
Okay. Sorry.
We're all about to find out.
Yes. I have locked the room. Don't worry, everybody. I have locked the room.
Yeah, guys, come on, not cool.
So,
Stay out.
We're chilling. It's fine. Anyway, your dogs are looking more and more dog-like, I must say.
Can you see that?
They
No.
are.
No.
Mine is looking less and less
He's
dog-like.
standing there.
Yeah, Charles, yours was looking dog-like and has just sort of taken a nap.
I think Charles is going for an added sort of complexity.
May I say, Charles,
Trying to
yours
make
looks
it
like a
stand up,
swing.
you see.
Um,
I mean, I just realised I should have just made the dog lie down.
That's
That's what I'm gonna do.
I don't know if you can see this at the back here, but my dog's done a little poo as well.
I was about to do that as
Wow.
well. That's really awkward.
So
Literally what I was about to do.
Martin, if there's any way that your camera can be further tilted, that might be helpful.
Okay.
yeah,
because
I'd love to do that.
If it
I might
can't,
have
then
to
no
just do it
worries.
quickly.
How
Hang
long
on.
have we got, Katie? How long have we got?
We have got 30 seconds.
Okay, terrific. So you've got 30 seconds left, guys.
I'm sort of tilting it so you can see.
Yes.
tremendous, Thank you.
We
I
can
mean,
see
it's
that is
very
helpful.
overexposed, but
All right.
I just-
We're not picky, it's fine.
Yeah, no, I'm not complaining, but oh, hello, Martin. No, that's not a sight we wanted to see. If I'm being honest.
What are you guys thinking? What is the verdict so far in the chat? Let's see.
Mine is awful. Wait.
Yeah, Charles.
So you can see this can stand. Okay. So I'm just gonna take you in a bit closer.
Oh.
Now look, he's got a very I don't know what word to use for the tail.
Okay.
It's sticking
3,
up.
2, 1, stop.
I mean, they have.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Martin. Great. Charles is just enjoying the marshmallows. Okay. Talk us through. Who's going to go first?
Martin, I believe you are partway through.
Well, look, I've got a tail there. It's a bit pointier than I'd want it to be.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and bring that down. I've gone for 2 sticks on the spine just to denote the fact that that's obviously a thicker bone structure.
Yeah.
And then it's actually a poodle because you can see this ruffling around the head.
Wow.
There, I've gone white, white, pink, white, and then coming out the front, little nose coming out the front as well. So I feel like
Wow.
it's simple but also complex.
Nice. Okay. Will it stand?
It did stand for ages.
Let's have a look. Will it stand now? Well
standing.
done. That is-
Wow.
I'm impressed.
Congratulations. Okay. Charles, talk us through your dog.
Mine doesn't stand up because it's lying down in front of the fire.
Okay.
And as you can see, it's got 2 ears,
Yeah.
got a face, and it's got 4 legs
Well,
and paws. It's got little paws.
as pointed out by your sister in the comments, it looks like an abstract star. I'm not gonna say that because I can't say that.
Constellation.
Constellation.
Yes.
And it does. Your dog looks like he's like mounted. In
Yes,
the
he also got shot by a fire.
Oh dear.
what
That's,
happened.
that's very dark.
Just a bit of trigger warning there. Okay.
Yeah, someone does say Charles, yours looks like roadkill. So
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, that's the look I was going for.
well, so Martin has made a terrific poodle replica. And
Yes.
you've made a squashed rabbit.
Yeah.
Well, someone has said Charles's has ears, which is very important.
Well
Oh,
done.
true.
You have to
Dogs
bear in
do
mind.
have ears, so
They do.
yeah.
Okay. Ollie.
Well, I think if we go for structural integrity, I think we're going to have to give that one to Martin
Yeah.
because he does stand, and Charles has been run over. If we go for like realism,
Creative
Katie-
backstory.
Yeah, well, creative backstory, Katie. What are we thinking?
I am thinking that this one is going to have to go to Martin.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's fair.
okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I
would've-
panicked because I thought we had 30 seconds and then I fell apart.
To be fair, yes, that is one point in which we should have
Yeah.
planned ahead a little bit. Congratulations, Martin. This one goes to you.
Well done.
Would you guys just like to reset your areas because
Reset.
Ollie is about to announce your second?
Right. If that was not hard enough, I would like to see you build a car.
Oh, easy.
And your time
Okay, you will
starts-
have
Oh,
1
okay.
minute.
1 minute.
No, one
Yes,
and a
1
half
minute.
minutes. No, 1 minute. 1 minute. Kate is
1
decided
minute.
1 minute.
Go.
Let's go. Now, while they do this, I would like to say, if anybody in the comments, watching the comments, that I believe Martin's account is currently being occupied by his family, so he's not cheering for himself.
Oh.
But
Wait, his family aren't cheering for me?
well, no, they are, and they love and support
So
you,
needy.
Charles. But yeah, but they are supporting their wonderful father, who is building a dog in the next room. So it's not just Martin cheering for himself.
Okay, 30 seconds.
Oh goodness.
Oh,
Charming
no.
old story,
Wow.
isn't it?
It's not a.
I believe we had 2.5 minutes for a dog.
Well, true, and you had the extra 30 seconds at the start, so
You
so
can't see what I'm
actually
doing,
had
can
3
you?
minutes. Not
I think
really.
it's
It was a
really
very
wants-
relative 2.5 minutes.
I didn't really want to give away my tactic to Charles.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly, and it will be a dramatic reveal. So I think it's good. I like
Okay, we're giving you a generous minute.
Yeah.
How long have I got?
So,
A few more seconds.
just a few more seconds.
Yeah.
Nearly
Out
there.
of grace.
So and get ready with. I enjoyed the comments last time of what these actually look like. So do come up
Indeed.
with some creative comments.
Okay, 10, 9,
Oh,
8, 7, 6, 5,
no,
4,
no,
3,
no,
2,
no.
1. Okay, hands off.
Hands off, Charles. Don't touch it anymore. Wow. Okay. No. Okay. Step away from the baking, as they say in the Great British Bake Off. I think. Yeah.
Is this a car crash?
Wait, hang on, wait. Can I,
In every sense of the word.
like...
So, please talk us through then, Charles. First.
Okay, well, obviously you're looking at front end, but if you go like this, it's actually got wheels that work.
Oh, wow.
The wheels work, and like
Wow.
it slides on the wheels, you see, and it can turn.
Impressive. So, motion. That's
Yeah.
good.
And it was quite hard to add any decoration, if I was honest. But it's got a roof.
Yeah.
It's actually a convertible,
Oh wow.
an open top and a closed roof as well. It's actually a very interesting convertible because rather than opening like front ways, it opens sideways. So there's that.
Okay.
Very interesting. Okay, Martin.
I'm going to be honest with you. Charles is better than mine.
Oh. Well.
Mine does have like wheels on the bottom, but it was just a very basic, like 2 sets of wheels with some things on the top. And
it's a bit more streamlined, isn't it? It's more
well,
like a racing
yeah,
car.
but it's not as good. It doesn't have moving. I mean, it does have moving wheels, but only because it's not stuck together. But the wheels don't move on their own, so I'll happily sort of concede the point there to Charles.
Well,
We appreciate your integrity.
we will take that on board because unfortunately it's not up to you to decide. But Katie.
Wow.
Okay, Ollie, I made the last call. This one is yours.
Oh wait, no.
What are you
no,
thinking?
I didn't. No. Okay. What do you think about the structural integrity? Who are you giving the point to?
I think just
I mean-
in terms of like just even building upwards,
Yeah,
I
Martin
think
doesn't
Charles
really
gets
have
point
any,
for that.
So yes, and I'd say backstory behind it. Martin's is just sort of a marshmallow car, being occupied by the dog.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I'm creating a whole extra layer to this
Well,
story.
the time is
I
up,
ate my
Martin,
dog.
and you should have. Yeah, Charles also ate his roadkill. But Charles's convertible, I think, will have to take this one because of the backstory.
Yes.
Was
We are running, way behind schedule. So we are going to maybe slightly rush this last
Yep.
decider.
Really,
Yes.
like
Round.
that's the last one.
This is the yeah. No, I think we got this.
We're ready. We're ready.
Last one, okay, and this is purely on two things, and that's whether it'll stand and how tall it is. But I'd like to see the tallest tower.
Oh my goodness.
So we got a minute and a half to make the tallest tower, and your time starts now. So it's gonna be, who is the most structurally sound, and then whoever's is the tallest, measured in cocktail sticks length. So
Wonderful.
I'm hoping to see them touch the ceiling. But
Yeah,
for that
but-
Okay,
to
guys,
happen-
where are you casting your votes? Let us know.
Who do we think's going to take it? Because it's 1-1 at the moment.
In the chat, we've got Charles is just eating them.
Yeah. Charles is just.
Gosh, you just made me remember that Flumps existed.
Yes.
Oh my
Love a good flump.
goodness.
Yes.
Are they those Spyro marshmallows?
Just think of all that out-of-date tuck that's in the cupboard.
Oh, yeah,
I think of
that's
it. Do you know what, Martin? I actually groove over that on a weekly basis. I'll be
Yeah.
honest. The tuck
Yeah.
shop was just my pride and joy.
true. Yeah, that used to be a highlight. Just everybody rushing to the tuck shop.
That's the most I'd get out of some of you some weeks. Just talking over tuck.
Where's the tuck?
We would bond over which sweet we liked the best.
Okay,
How long have
25
we got?
seconds left.
How long?
Oh gosh.
25 seconds. Well, less now.
I feel we may have a bit of overtime for this one, just so the structures raise themselves a bit. You know?
I don't know. Charles is doing pretty well at the moment. Martin, we can't see yours, but we have blind faith.
It's all to be revealed.
Yeah. I mean, in the picture, I put the Burj Khalifa, so maybe we'll give a bonus point. I don't think I did, actually. I might be lying. But we'll give a bonus point if it looks like a real-life building. So, you know.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands off.
Step away from
Stay hands off.
the baking.
But if I take my hands off, I can't finish it.
Okay.
Oh.
We will allow you to stick your sticks into the marshmallow.
You know, this is just
Can
gonna
I have
slowly,
2 extra sticks then?
This is going to slowly disappear.
Well,
in
I think
security.
I'm gonna have to say that.
I think we may have a
structurally-
clear winner.
Yeah, structurally, Charles definitely takes this, and I
Wow.
think from the fact that you can't be holding your tower up.
Wait.
Charles.
Just wait.
Well, you've run out of time
Look
as
at
well.
Wait.
Charles
Wait.
On the Eiffel
also
Tower.
takes the height as well.
No.
Yes.
So
Charles has
well,
also doubled as a pyramid. It's just like,
Charles
you know,
has definitely done this in Girls Brigade.
also we could see Charles make his. So you know.
well played, the both of you. Very exciting because you're now tied, and our final, not only week of this series, this whatever of Satellites Live, but our final week of Martin versus Charles next week will be the decider. Who is the ultimate human / genius
Oh, lucky man.
of Satellites Live? Okay, whilst Charles is stuffing his face with marshmallows, Martin, would you like to introduce what's coming up next?
Yes, absolutely. So we've been going through the Gospel of Mark over the last term, and we've nearly reached the end. It's getting pretty exciting now. Jenny is going to speak to us this evening. She has condensed 2 whole chapters of Mark into 4.5 minutes, which is probably quicker than it would take you to actually read 2 chapters of Mark. So pay attention, and this is brilliant from Jenny Rayner.
Welcome to the next instalment of Mark's Gospel. We're up to chapters 11 and 12 this week, and in chapter 11 we hit a really interesting turning point. Up till now it's all been about establishing Jesus' identity as Messiah, and now that's been established, there's a sense of listen up, this bit is really important. The remaining chapters cover the events of just 1 week, the most important week in all history. And, spoiler alert, it's really not what anyone is expecting. Chapter 11 begins with Jesus triumphantly entering Jerusalem on a donkey, with the crowds waving palm leaves and shouting Hosanna, what we now call Palm Sunday. The Jewish people have been waiting hundreds of years for a new king, and so now Jesus has reached the city of Jerusalem, the centre of political power in Israel. There's huge expectation and anticipation about what he's going to do next. But what does come next can only be described as some slightly baffling behaviour from Jesus. He curses a fig tree for not bearing fruit, and then he goes into the temple courts and starts chucking tables around. What's going on? Well, in these 2 stories, Jesus is angry because things are not the way they should be. A fig tree in leaf should bear fruit, and the temple courts should be where people are coming and preparing to worship God and offer sacrifices for the forgiveness of sins, according to Jewish law. Instead, he finds a barren tree and chaotic scenes with money changers exploiting people and turning the temple into a marketplace instead of a house of prayer. This reversal of God's ordained laws understandably makes Jesus angry. He wants things put right. And I think this is a glimpse of what is to come, where Jesus will restore our broken relationship with the Father. I don't know if you've watched any of the Downing Street press briefings over the past months, where Boris Johnson or one of the ministers has stood at the podium in number 10 and made a series of announcements about what our life is going to look like for the next few weeks. Where we can go, how many people we can see, how far away from them we have to be, etc. And then they get grilled by journalists who ask lots of clever questions. For a while, all questions were about Dominic Cummings, and they try and trip them up or get them to admit to something they would rather not. And that's kind of how I imagine this next bit in Mark's Gospel. Please hear me, I'm absolutely not drawing any parallels between Jesus and Boris Johnson here, but picture the scene. We're in Jerusalem, the hub of power, and Jesus is being grilled by a succession of different religious leaders who are rattled by his teaching and his behaviour in the temple. They start asking him clever questions, waiting for him to slip up, perhaps not for the headlines on the 10 o'clock news, but certainly to discredit him. Except he doesn't slip up. What he does do is establish his authority in Jerusalem, which is essentially the Jewish centre of the world. One by one, they question him about money, society, and religion, and he shows his authority over each one. You can imagine the leaders don't much like this. The debate hots up, and then when he's asked which command is the greatest, Mark says he silences them with these words. The most important one is this: Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind and with all your strength. The second is this: love your neighbour as yourself. There is no other command greater than these. It's not clever policy or empty words. It's love. And ultimately, this is how Jesus will establish his kingdom. And it's this way of love that Jesus calls us to follow. These will be familiar words to many of you. In fact, Wendy mentioned them in her talk last week. But that doesn't mean they're easy. We don't wake up one morning suddenly loving God with all our heart, soul, mind and strength. It's a choice, an ongoing choice, and a costly choice. It requires every part of us. But, and this is the important bit, it's also a response. Elsewhere in the Bible it says we love because he first loved us. If we recognise just how much he loves us, then it becomes a natural response to love him back with all our heart, mind, soul and strength. Chapter 12 finishes with Jesus watching the crowd bringing their offering in the temple and seeing successions of rich people throwing in huge amounts of money, and then a poor widow who gives very little, but it's everything she owns. Why does she do that? Because she trusts. By giving all she has to live on, she is completely putting her faith in God to provide for her. Love and trust go hand in hand. If we can even begin to grasp just how much we are loved and cherished, then, like the widow in the story, we will trust him with our lives and love him with everything we are.
Hey, thank you so much, Jenny. Unpacking so much in such a short space of time. Really good to chat through some of that stuff in small groups this evening, particularly that last question about what it means to love the Lord your God. It's easy to say, love the Lord your God, love your neighbour as yourself. A little harder to put that into practice. So let's talk about that in small groups. But before that, in the next 10 minutes, we've got two entire segments to get in. The first of them is a Kahoot. So you need to fire up Kahoot and put in the following code for Survey in a Manger. I'm sorry about it. It's the name now. 52867.
Yep.
8.
Yep.
2.
Yes. Correctamundo. That is.
We're going to ask you 4 fairly quick questions, quick fire questions about your experience of lockdown, how you're feeling, what you've been going through. Ollie's going to help me by reading out some of the answers, and we're going to
Terrific.
rattle through a little bit this week, but we really want to know how you've been feeling and what you feel about these things.
Yeah. I am going to start it soon, but don't worry because you can always enter during the Kahoot.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So when it hits 30, I'm going to start it, and then the rest of you can join in as we go. Right, so Martin, we are ready for the first one.
Okay, so first question. It's Savannah Ain't Major, week 3. And I've given it some sort of ridiculous pun. The Apostles' Poll, it's called this week. That's the subtitle. First question. Have you taken up any new hobbies during lockdown? So 3 options here. One of them is just no. And there's 2 versions of yes. Yes, and I'm going to carry on. Or yes, but it was just for this time. So have you taken up any new... Have either of you 3 taken up new hobbies?
Live streaming.
Yes.
No, I haven't actually. I was trying to. I wanted to learn guitar and then realized I didn't have a guitar. So that was a stumbling block.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's quite hard to learn the guitar without a guitar.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see if any of our satellites have taken up any new hobbies. And we've had yes, and I intend to continue was the majority, 17. 13 were like Charles with no. Maybe they also didn't have a guitar. And 4 people were yes, but it was just a pastime in lockdown.
Very interesting. So
yeah.
Look, if that's you, if you took something up during lockdown, we'd love to hear about that and know what it was. So why don't you post that in the comments right now, and we can read those. That'd be great. But we're going to move on to question number 2. Of these, which do you think will be your fondest memory of this period? So not, there's lots of other things that you might look back on positively. We're going to do the flip side of this in a minute. We're just doing the positives right now. Which of these 4 things do you think will be your fondest memory? Do you want to read them out, Ollie?
Absolutely. The first one, wonderful one, clapping for the NHS. Another great one, going out for your 1 hour of exercise.
I remember when you could only do an hour.
Yeah, when it was only an hour. Spending more time with family, or missing loads of school. So.
Wow. Where do you think the majority is going to be here?
Yeah. Katie, what do you think?
I don't know. I think people definitely missed the level of work that they got in school. But to be fair, they were still working. Some of them were still working pretty hard from home. So maybe the 1 hour of exercise. I don't know. I personally really love the clap for the NHS.
Yes, that was great. And 7 people voted for clap for the NHS. 7 for going out for their 1 hour of exercise. 16 for spending more time with family.
No.
Great.
And 6 for missing loads of school.
That's kind of nice, isn't it? Like the thing that people will most think of when they think back at this time, hopefully, is all the good time they spent with friends and family. That's brilliant.
Yeah, that's
okay,
wonderful.
Question number 3. Which of these has been your biggest lockdown frustration?
Ooh.
So obviously this is the flip side of the more positive question first, but which of these things have you found most frustrating? Ollie, do you want to read the options?
Yes, they are other people breaking the rules. Favorite places / shops being closed. Not being allowed to hug or get close to people. That is a big one. And people endlessly talking about only this.
Oh, yeah.
It's going on and on about lockdown.
How do you choose?
Yeah.
All of those.
And
Deeply
are we
frustrating.
we're doing one answer, are we, Martin?
You can only pick one of these. It's
Only
which
one.
of these has been your
The most-
biggest frustration?
yes.
So we assume all of them have been pretty frustrating,
Yeah.
but which one most for you?
Definitely hug. I
Yeah.
love hugging people, and especially family members, and you can't do that, so that's frustrating for me.
What about you, Charles? Which one of these would you pick?
You know what? I'm not really like a physical contact kind of person, but I have also missed that as well.
Oh, well, 17 people, 47% also said not being allowed to hug people. And then it was fairly consistent between breaking rules, favourite places being shut, and people endlessly talking about lockdown.
Which is what we're doing now. Finally,
Oh, we are doing.
Final question before we go on to faith questions. Faith questions are cracking this week as well. When have you felt closest to God during this time? So which of these four represent when you have felt closest to God during this time? So very quickly, has that been when you've been outside in nature, when you've been watching satellites live, maybe, or probably more likely watching a church live stream, or have you not felt close to God at all? And that's also one of the options you can take. What's the other one, Ollie?
At home on my own.
Oh yeah, at home on your own.
Yeah.
So if you felt, well, where have you felt closest to God during this last few months of those options? I'm really interested to know the outcomes of this one. I honestly don't know which way this one's going to go.
Let's see. We have 34% for at home on my own. 29% say during church services and satellites live.
We'll take that.
Yep. 23 for when I've been outside in nature / getting exercise, and 5 said I haven't felt close to God at all.
Fair enough. And it has been quite difficult. I think even I've felt that. It's been quite difficult at times to feel close to God. So if you said that, that's absolutely fine. And we will continue to try and find ways to make that possible for you. But really interesting answers. Thank you guys for taking part in those week after week. We're going to have one more round of it next week in our grand season finale. But before we finish, unbelievably, we're going to squeeze in 3 faith questions. Here's the first one right now.
What does it actually mean that Jesus is coming back?
Will he literally return to earth, and when?
Welcome to Faith Questions this week, and I've asked my brother Samuel to join in.
This is a great question. I used to think that when Jesus came back, he was literally going to walk through the door to me. That is not how it's going to happen. So don't keep looking at the door like I do. Like you can find out a little bit more in the book of Thessalonians. There's not necessarily a concrete answer, and we don't know when or necessarily how he's going to come back. But there's lots of different possibilities. Thessalonians talks about us meeting with him in the sky. There's also lots of other versions. So have a read in the Bible, look to the Bible. It's always a good place to find out these sort of things and to help you make up your mind. Next question.
Question 2 was left with Samuel.
Do Christians believe that dinosaurs really existed? Do Christmas
Okay, so the short answer to this question is yes, dinosaurs really existed. And we have lots and lots of historical evidence that tells us that. But it's also worth saying that this is an area in which lots of people, lots of Christians, have lots of different views. They're quite complicated in the way that they're different. And it would take a long time to unpack all of those, and we don't have that time now. There are lots of other questions that this throws up, of course. But yes, there were dinosaurs. And I think it fits within the creation story, the idea that God creating animals may have taken a period of time. It may have happened over a period of time. We talk about those 7 days of creation not being literal days, but periods of time, and the kind of expansion of the animal kingdom, including the dinosaurs, could have taken place on one of those days. So I think it does fit within a Christian perspective. Next question, Zachary.
Did God know COVID-19 was going to happen?
Why didn't he stop it?
Why did the toilet roll down the hill?
I don't know.
Because it wanted to get to the bottom.
The joke.
This is a great question. I think it's something a lot of people have been wrestling with. And frankly, like Martin said, there are a bunch of different Christians who have different ideas about how God knows everything. So we all agree that God is this big word, omniscient, but how does he know everything, and what does that mean? So a lot of people would say God knows the possibility of everything. So God knows that we're not treating our planet right, and as a consequence, a lot of things are being disrupted. And actually, this virus and everything that's come out of it is because humans have just strayed too far into land and into areas and kind of disrupting wildlife that we're just meant to kind of let be. And so could God have prevented this? in terms of the fact that does he have the power to? Yes, but he also asks us to be responsible for our actions. And so as heartbreaking as some of the results of this are, just as some of the results of human actions across history, is what a weighty reminder that actually our choices have consequences, and that God is trying to trust us to make the right choices, and we need his wisdom to do that. So could God have known? Did God know? I think he absolutely knew that it was a very high chance that it could happen, maybe even inevitable. But I think what we need to focus on now is, okay, what are the choices that we're going to make going forward? How can we make better choices? Because God has trusted us with that ability to make those choices and have free will. So yeah, I'm going to hand back to Martin. We have whizzed through that, but we are just going to say goodbye and then see you guys in small group.
Yeah, that was quick. Okay, so we are going to just have a quick pray, and then we're going to get together in small groups. So if you want to join us on Zoom, you can do that and log in just a moment. But why don't I just pray for all of us as we head into our weeks, whether we're going to do Zoom or not. Father God, thank you for this evening. Thank you for that reminder that we're still together. We're still a group. We're still here as satellites, even though we haven't been able to meet together. And we look forward again together to that time that we can. But in the meantime, Lord, would you be with each one of us and with us as this group scattered across our towns? Lord, would we know you more clearly and better over this summer break? And Lord, we do pray that we'll soon be able to gather again together in person. Amen. That's it. Great, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next week for one more.